You've nailed it there, Rob. Definitely, we'll see the threat continue. The short answer is certainly a yes. But the good news for the industry is that the new administration has come in and obviously de-emphasizing and maybe completely doing away with incentives for decarbonization. Personally, I don't really know definitely, but the people who I respect, who are a lot closer to decision making than I am, what I hear from them is they expect that even though the administration would like to phase out the IRA completely, they do believe that 45Q, which is where the $85 and $60 a ton revenues and credits come from, that will survive. It will be attached to another bill, and that will keep the forefront on moving forward, trying to do some carbon sequestration and utilization. What I also believe, and I am seeing in my practice, is the voluntary efforts, and mainly by foreign companies, Canada as well as Europe and Asia, obviously. But I am seeing some domestic companies that are very interested in doing the right thing, even though it's a lower return than they would typically get on their capital investment. And of course, we've got companies who are usually profitable, like Google and Microsoft, et cetera, and they have set goals of net zero carbon emission by 2030, which is far ahead of most companies, but they have the pocketbook to be able to do that and pull it off. Unfortunately, at this point, we've seen a pause, though. I think most people are afraid of the certainty or uncertainty, I should say, of the 45Q credit. I think until things are firmed out, we've seen how the position on tariffs can change very quickly in a short period of time. I think most companies realize that 45Q is not exactly on concrete; it's on shifting turf. So I think until that has been sorted out, people will keep their powder dry and wait until there's a clearer definition before putting money in the ground and moving forward with projects that would only make sense if there's 45Q. And toward that end, we've seen what's happened with Summit Carbon Solutions, a $9 billion project through 2,500-mile pipeline. And as I understand it, maybe close to $1 billion having been spent already. But they banged their head into a not invented in my back or not wanted in my backyard with the eminent domain decisions that have come down in South Dakota. So very hard for them to get that pipeline approved. And as a result, that probably buys the industrial gas industry a few more years of not having to worry as much about these ethanol sources disappearing. At last year's CO2 summit that was in Nashville, President of Reliant Gases, Scott Vandenberg, was bold enough to say that the way we were heading, he expected as much as 1/3 of the capacity of the U.S. industry to go away as a result of legislation. That would be 10,000 tons per day of capacity. So he may well be right yet, but this has probably bought us just a little bit of time. So that's my attempt to answer that question, gentlemen.